Hi everyone, welcome back to the Buff Bombshell Show. My name is Lauren Lotta. I'm your host, and today I'm joined with a very special guest, Mel Lewis from South Africa. Back in the UK, Mel Lewis, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you, Lauren. Thank you for having me.
No problem. You guys, this is so exciting for me because I have known Mel now for just under a year. Mm-hmm. We met at the Ireland show, Muscle Contest, where you competed, and yes. I got to see you compete for the first time ever. And you're definitely one to watch out for. And I'm so excited for your season this year. And I cannot wait to see you step on stage. But you guys, before I get into Mel, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. And please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to this video. Make sure you go pick up your copy of Muscular Development with Chris Bumstead on the front, 4 times Mr. Olympia champion. And do make sure to comment down in the section down below. Make sure you want to get Mel back. Like this video, okay? And we'll bring her back for you guys. So Mel, thank you so much for coming. I would love it if you could start the show off for us and just tell everyone a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you got into bodybuilding.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My story goes back to 6 years ago when I started going to the gym really just to get my health back. I was in a really, really bad place physically, suffered a few years with infertility, managed to eventually birth my son, and then, tried to have another one, never really worked out. Doctor said, lose weight. So I went to the gym, got on the treadmill, hated every minute of it, and eventually found my way over to the weights section where I started training. And I trained for about a year before I entered my first competition. And it was really something that had always kind of been within my blood because my dad did bodybuilding. So he grew up in the golden era. His coach and his gym that he competed at was with Reg Park. And if you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger's mentor was Reg Park. So that's where my passion kind of bred into me without me even realizing it until I eventually competed in my first show. So it's been 5 years of competing. And really in South Africa, I was doing the IFBB Pro Elites kind of stream, and then moved over to NPC and joined up with Kim Odo at Body by O, and he's been my coach now for 3 years. So it's been quite a journey with him. So I'm going to rewind that and just take you back, but you're a full-time mom. Yes.
And that's incredible. I didn't know that. See, there's all this stuff that I never really realized until we got people in. I actually get to talk to you face to face. So this is great. But you're a full-time mom, and you've basically been doing this for a few years now, which is quite interesting. And you've really, built up a physique and built up what I can imagine is very different to when you first competed.
Oh, yes.
And when you competed with the IFBB, I'm going to say the other side for the sake of this. Was that here in the UK first, or was that in South Africa?
That was in South Africa. So at the time, there was no NPC in South Africa. So I didn't have the option. And to be honest with you, I always came into those shows a little bit too lean, a little bit too hard. And the shape of my physique is much better suited to the NPC and IFBB Pro League streams. So it's definitely been the right move for me to switch over to the other side, the better side.
So just to give you guys a bit of a heads up, South Africa now does have NPC. It now does have the NPC regionals headed by Candice from Champagne Productions. And if you're on that side, go do a regional. And they have, I believe, 2 pro qualifiers in the year, which is always kind of interesting. And here's a little fun fact for you. If you are a South African here and you want to go compete there, you can do that. If you have a British passport or a South African one, just go do it. Because you still have to do the regional, but you have the option to do both, which is what I'm going to say right there, because that's quite an interesting tidbit of information I got from Candice. So that is why I'm going to say that. But in terms of just competing with, that side, how many shows did you do in Cape Town? Was it Cape Town? Or?
Yes. So my first...
Did I ever run into you?
I don't know. We must have at some stage. I mean, I competed in Cape Town, but I also competed my first show. I decided I was going to enter what looked like a small show in Johannesburg. And I was like, I'll fly down there. I'm just going to do this for me and see if I can survive like small the 12 weeks of discipline and hard work. Show up there and no one will know who I am. And I can just do this for me and fly home and not worry about being embarrassed. And when I arrived arrived, it landed up being the largest show of the year, which was to my shock and horror. But I placed third at that show. Okay. And so for me, that was really where my passion for competing began. You know, I enjoyed the process and the discipline of getting to stage, but then being there and having the glitz and the glam and, you know, being thrown into such a big show, I was like, you know what, actually, I can do this. I am able to do this. I'm going to carry on and just see where I go from there. So I qualified for the Arnold's in South Africa.
That's fun.
Yes. And I competed there. I came fifth. I was too hard. I mean, the girls were coming in a lot softer for that federation. And I was probably the hardest on stage. So it was just a conditioning thing, over-conditioned. So I competed there, but before that I did do 2 shows, which I placed first overall in both. Okay. And then competed at the Western Province Champs, where I placed second, and then I won the SA Extreme before moving over to the UK.
And when did you move to the UK? So I've got like a bit of a timeline.
Yeah, so we moved probably at the worst time possible. We moved here in February 2020.
Yeah, that's the worst time.
Yeah. We were here, we finally found a house, we got our address, and we're like, woohoo, we can finally get my son enrolled in school. Oh. He was there for 4 days and we went into lockdown. So I was thrown into a full-time teacher trying to get us settled in the UK, while my husband was trying to find and source, you know, work that he could do. So it was a very stressful time, but at the same time, I think it was necessary for us, because it really put me in the position where I could say, I'm not going to get back into this rat race of life, and I'm going to rather pursue my passions and start to set up my businesses from home. And that's really where I was able to really dive into fitness, which is my true passion in life, and be able to help other people get into the industry or just help them with transformations. So it's been a good, positive, stressful, but positive move for us.
Stressful COVID.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that, and I'm so glad it's worked out in terms of that timing with everything, because that's quite interesting. And when did you first then transition from IFBB into NPC?
Yeah.
Was that 2020?
That was in 2020. Yeah. So
did I see you then too?
Possibly. I mean, I started just really training from home because we were in lockdown, and then the gyms opened. I was like, great, I can start prepping now, you know, getting myself into a place where I feel I can start to lean out for stage. But I think the gyms, they were just opening, closing. It wasn't the best time. And that's when I started coaching with Kimbo Odo, and we did our first prep together in lockdown.
Wow. And
the first show I did was the Kingdom Classic with 2 Bro Pros, and that was the first show of the year in 2021.
Was that?
So we started in August 2020, and we prepped all the way through to that first show after lockdown. So we did that show in a marquee. We weren't allowed indoors yet.
I remember. Okay.
Yeah. So I placed second in that show, and then went on to do the Ben Weeder, where I placed third in that show, and then did the British finals later in the year. And then I think I might have seen you did I not see you at the Ben Weeder last year then? That was the first one I did before Ireland.
Oh, I didn't compete last year just because I was taking a business break, and then it turned into a bit of a heart break.
Yes.
Heart attack break. That's one. So I am relaxing.
Yes.
I'm still going to the gym, keeping fit.
Yes.
Diet's impeccable. Don't drink. That's helped loads. But what I will say is, no, I did not see you. Yes. The first time I ever saw you, I think then was definitely in Ireland.
Yes.
And shameless plug, we are going to bring this up before we show you Mel Lewis's IG. But guys, get yourself over to Muscle Contest Ireland. It is on May the 13th in Limerick, Ireland. It's really close to the airport. The venue is really close to the hotel. Yeah. It's a really intimate show, and it's really well run by Brian Bowman and the Muscle Contest group. And it's absolutely spectacular. There will be 7 pro cards, I believe, up for grabs. One of them being bikini. We've got wellness. We have classic. And we also have a classic men's pro show. So whoever wins that is going to automatically qualify and go to the 2023 Mr. Olympia in Florida in November. get yourself there. You want to be there. And I believe, Mel, you will be going to Muscle Contest Island 2 this year.
I will be. I won't be competing this year, but I will be at the show. I will be representing Kim for Body Bio, and then also assisting with the tans for Tan Masters. Not actually doing the tans, but I will be on the desk there to assist anyone who's coming in for their tans.
Wow. So let's just, that's me.
That is you.
Oh, you put me on there for a long time. I was doing the backstage stuff, and then unfortunately couldn't quite finish it for that weekend. But let's take, I want to quickly show you guys Mel's Instagram from NPC, because you are currently on your journey, like road to pro. You want to get that pro card.
Yes.
What's the dream? What's the end goal?
The end goal is to one day obviously step on that Olympia stage. That would be my dream, my ultimate dream.
So we've got Mel over here. She's in off season. I think you've got great shape. Giles thought you were like a little bit wellness when you came in, because you got good shape as well. And we were just saying, this is your son.
That is my son. Yes, That is Ryder. He is 10 this month on the 18th.
Well, happy birthday. That is so nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. But going in for that sort of pro card, you're working super hard.
Yeah.
I've never seen you really miss a beat, especially like with all of your stuff from last year too, because you had some tragedy.
Yeah.
And that was, I'm really sorry.
Thank you.
And I think from when I seen you on stage and then seeing what you went through there, because of what happened with me as well, I was able to kind of resonate a little bit there. So I've also, with my father, I've lost him quite early on. So I'll just I'll say that for now, but just remember, you guys can get through anything.
Yes.
And this is Mel. Which show is
that? That
this?
was the British finals in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely, have you ever thought that you'd want to switch from bikini, or is bikini the goal?
Bikini is the goal. I think at a pro level, wellness is quite dominant, and I don't have the biggest quads. I think I can come across as looking a bit larger than your average bikini on NPC, but I do think at a pro level I would be competitive there, so I wouldn't be looking to switch over to wellness.
I thought your shape was lovely, and I think your shoulders and your upper bodies come in 1 year, because I've been watching the progress photos as you've been doing it, and definitely you got like the boulder bubble shoulders going on. Thank you. I really like that. And then we were just saying, like, I thought your look for Muscle Contest Island was beautiful. I can't remember where you placed on this one, but I believe I had you first because I was judging, and I was test judging. Let's just put it out there, people. I was test judging, just so as not
test judging,
because my dream one day, you guys, is to become an IFBB head judge.
Yes.
So I am a little bit more critical, and I don't care if you don't like it, but what I will say is this: it was the best thing ever. I had you first.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Did you come first or second?
I came second at the muscle contest, yes.
And this was your only second show of the year?
Yeah, so the plan last year was to compete and in as many pro qualifiers as we could. But unfortunately, as we spoke about, tragedy struck for me last year. So it started with my niece passing away suddenly.
I'm so sorry.
And then my father having a heart attack 2 weeks later. And that dragged on for quite some time, with my father being ill and not being able to get back to him in South Africa. My stress levels were just through the roof. And you know what that does to a physique. So, I tried really hard to keep going, but I think it was probably July that Kim and I decided, let's take a break here. Let's just let life happen and just work through things and then come back stronger later on. So we were prepping for the Arnold's this year to do the Arnold's Amateur, but I then injured my wrist. So that was in November. So it's really been, last year wasn't my best year. I'm still proud of what I achieved last year, but I definitely could have gone a different way. So I'm hoping this year that I can stay strong and really bring my best.
I think sometimes the best thing you can do is to break a little bit, and you've made such nice improvements in your off season. So when you sculpt it down with Otto, I'm really excited to see that happening.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you want to disclose any of your plans as to where you're going to compete, maybe the time period, But what sort of advice would you give to somebody that is looking to do their first show this year? Because you coach girls,
Yes.
you pose them too,
Yes.
and you know what it's like to compete now for a while and obviously cross that federation. But for somebody that's coming into the sport new,
Yes.
and specifically with NPC, what would you say? What are 3 of your best tips for them?
I think my number one tip for anyone coming into the sport is to not rush the process. Don't be in a rush to get, first place and get the pro card and get, I think there's our overnight success stories, but don't put yourself under that kind of pressure. Just enjoy the process, and really fall in love with watching your body grow and change. Definitely take the time to have an off season. Take the time to grow, not just within, your muscle and giving your hormones a break and all those sorts of things, but also to just grow within your posing, becoming confident within yourself, and not looking to just lean out. I think that that's something that I definitely would have told myself a few years ago. Okay. I think there's a lot of pressure as a female to be lean, and we think that skinny is better. But I've definitely learned over the years that taking that time to really build, balance out, and just give the body time to get to where you want it to be is definitely worth it. Absolutely worth it. Everything that I've built, over the last 5-6 years, and I haven't rushed that process. And so it might be taking me longer to get to that finish line and that goal that I have, but I'm proud of the person I've become in the process.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of the progress that I've made over the years, and for me that's what makes bodybuilding so exciting, is that you can watch yourself change over time, and you know that if you put in the work, you're going to see the results of that work, as time goes by. And so just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure that you're doing it for yourself, and make sure that you're not trying to fit what you might think is fitness in your head, but rather focus on your own personal growth.
I really like that. Thank you so much. Yeah, so for any sort of first timers, please do try to take that on board, and also reach out to Mel at Mel Lewis Fit on IG if you would like to ask us some more questions, because obviously you've been through it, and you have experience now on that stage. And I'm going to take it back, and we're going to go to Mr. Kim Otto, who is your coach.
Yes.
We're going to shout him out over here, because Kim Otto's been, in this industry for years now. He is one of the OG bikini. I know bikini's only been around since 2010. Yeah. But he is like the OG coach. When I think of bikini, I think of Kim.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Kim is just, he's like the Papa Bear. He honestly, I've never felt more comfortable with another person than I do with Kim. He really, I think his number one thing is to take good care of us, and make sure that we stay healthy, happy, and that we have fun with it. Because I think a lot of the time with bodybuilding, we get so serious because we're so committed to the goal. But he's always like, just have fun with it. Go out there, have fun with it, and just enjoy all your hard work. And I never feel like there's anything I can't disclose with Kim. He will always be there to listen to me. He will treat me, as if I'm one of his top pros. And, he just always takes such good care of me. So I have a big heart for him.
I'm glad to hear that, because it's nice to know that the coach is like that also in real life, when you talk to someone that is actually with the coach.
Yes.
And you are also an ambassador for Body by O Angels here in the UK. So you guys, if you're in the USA, you get a Body by O there. If you're here in the UK, you got Body by O here with you and Miss Tanya Barrett.
Yeah, so I think Tanya at the moment is focusing more just on her posing, so she's not as involved with Body by O. But you're welcome to reach out to me, and I can put you up to a call with Kim if that's something that you would be interested in.
Definitely,
yeah, absolutely.
So definitely get in contact with Mel. Mel Lewis Fits on IG. Whether you've got questions about NPC or questions about Body by O. And you also do posing. And this is what we're going to get into now, because really the most recent and most exclusive show of this year has been the Arnold's.
Oh, yes.
And I got to find this because it closed down. But we basically had a small talk about it. And, you know, the Arnold's has been the number one for this year since the Mr. Olympia. We've had a couple of other shows, say, for example, the Orchid Pro, the Clash, and those ladies have all been absolutely amazing to get their Olympia title. But when it comes to the standard and what we're looking for in bikini at the moment, we're still looking now towards the Arnold's, because this is the criteria that the judges are really looking at. This is what they believe is forecast, in my opinion, what will win for the Mr. Olympia 2023. And we've got these stunning ladies here. We've got Laura Lee, we have Evia Skanda, Maureen Banquisco, Ramina Bass, and the last lady on Alessia. So, you know, again, these ladies are in this lineup consistently, and these are top bikini pros. And I'd like to have your breakdown as well on, let's pause it on when they turn around to the front. Just a little bit of a breakdown for these ladies right here.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, okay, obviously, Laura Lee Chapados, she's a fellow team member, Body Bio with Kimbo Odo. You know, she's grown so much as a person, I think, in the last year, and that's been just so inspiring to watch. But the physique that she brought to the Arnold's was flawless. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, her stage presence, we all know, is just always spot on. Her posing is beautiful. It's very, very unique to who she is and her personality. She's not a carbon copy of anyone. And that physique is just, you know, that perfect amount of bikini conditioning along with that beautiful, beautiful shape. Evie, I'm quite excited about. I mean, she's like a little puppet rocket, isn't she?
I was just going to say the same thing.
Beautiful.
She's
She's absolutely beautiful. And she has got quite a lot of density within that muscle, but I'm excited to see where she places this year at the Olympia, because she did well at the Arnold's. Obviously, Maureen won the Olympia, and she is my height. So it's quite nice to see someone like her coming into the top, you know, because I think a lot of the top bikini pros are quite tall. So it is nice to see girls that are coming in a little bit shorter.
How tall are you?
I am 163 centimeters. So that's what, 5'3", I think. I don't know.
Yeah, like 5'3", 4".
Yeah.
Yeah, so still I'm shorter, but it's nice. But you are also quite short, so that's nice. But I do good balance and just really beautiful. And then Maureen right next to her.
Yes. So, I mean, we've got Romina. I mean,
Romina, sorry.
Yeah, Romina, she's consistent, isn't she? I mean, she's been showing up and just bringing her best for years, as well as Alicia. I mean, Alicia, she always comes in pretty well conditioned. So this was a great kind of comparison round here. I don't think this was the top first call out, was it? This was just the first comparison round as they came out to present.
Just the first call outs
here.
Yes. I just have a question about Laura Lee Chapada's glutes here.
Yes.
And because she works with Mr. Kim. Like, just give us Kim's one top glute exercise, just one.
You know, I think Laura Lee's built those glutes over the years, though. I think
just give us one.
Remember what I said about consistency and just showing up and not rushing the process.
I mean, is Kim more of an outer glute man, or is he more of the whole package kind of glute fan?
He's a whole glute fan.
Because I'm just like, Laura Lee's glutes just took it to another level in the last year and a half.
Yes, I think, you know, I mean, she's probably at that stage where she doesn't need to add more mass to her glutes, and she's trying to maintain what she has. You know, with someone like myself training with Kim, we would do glutes 3 times a week and shoulders twice a week, because those are obviously your most poppy body parts for bikini. So I don't think Laura Lee trains glutes quite as often, and if she does, perhaps not quite as heavy, to make sure that she's not building too much more density in there.
Well, that's your first lady call out, and now we've got the second round of ladies.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we didn't have number 10 in this because Phoebe Hagen did not do the Arnold's in the end. So we only had 9 ladies, and you know, we've got Ashley on the left. We have the lady in the middle, number 7. What's her name again? I know her, and I've been following her for years. She's just got a very exotic name. And then Jennifer Dory, and then this newcomer on the very right, who I'm also, is it Maya?
Yes, I believe this was her first pro show.
My God, she's got long glute insertions.
She has.
See, now you can't build that. That is just genetics. Whether or not your glute goes from here to here or here to here. I mean, look at Ashley. She's got like that sticky out poke glute, like to the side pop. But then you've got number 9, and her glute insertion is so long. So it's all about these genetics here.
Yes, absolutely.
Big shout out to Bob. Bob, I like it when he says, and you're a new.
Yes.
Watch out, Bob, I take your job, huh? No, I
We
won't.
all hope to have him call that out one day with your name on the end.
And you're new. I don't know how he does it. It's very good.
Yes.
So we're just going to quickly run through this part here. What did you think of the Arnolds in general? Did you watch it? Do you stay up late?
Yes, I am committed. I just love the sport so much. So any show that's coming on, I just want to see exactly what's going on and watch it live, which for us isn't always so easy being in the UK. But I think I'm quite used to the time difference working with Kim. And also my supplement sponsors are in Canada, Magnum Nutraceuticals. So I'm quite used to those time differences at this stage. Just staying up late is not too much of an ask for me, but I really enjoyed the Arnolds this year. I really do think it was such a high quality of athletes there. I know it was invitation only.
Yeah.
So, just having that, it was 10, but I think we only had the 9. Did we only have 9 competing in total? So I really enjoyed this show. Whereas with Olympia, I think we had 60 girls in bikini. It was a bit hard to watch every single
I didn't even get
lineup.
through the whole thing. When I was there. I was watching. I didn't even get through the whole thing. So the judges doing that.
They must have been exhausted.
Absolutely amazing. But here, your fellow team member, Laura Lee.
Yes.
Very sort of specific style posing.
Absolutely. She is a much taller girl, so her muscle insertions are a lot longer. She's built such beautiful shape. I mean, I know she said that she didn't really have much shape before. So anything you see on Laura Lee is muscle.
It's quite something when I see the ladies here. They've got a lot of muscle, but then when I hug them, they are still very tiny.
Yes.
And obviously you're leaning down and stuff, but it was so interesting to see and to feel, because you guys really know how to work your poses for your body. And I think that is quite beautiful. So it is really interesting to see. And it's, this is the look of Arnold's. I'm always just really confused whether or not they think, okay, is it going to be like Maureen's look, or is it now going to be Laura Lee's look?
Yes. I think from the back, really importantly with the glutes, is that they don't want to have too much separation between the glutes and the hamstrings. I think at the Olympia, Maureen definitely brought that perfectly without any separation there. And then when you start to get a little bit too detailed in those hamstrings, that's where I think you start to suffer a little bit in terms of criteria.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just about that perfect spot for conditioning, which is the hardest part with bikini. And I think what makes it such a challenge to coach is, to make sure that you're not overly conditioned, but you just right, not too soft, not too hard.
Oh, I like that. We've got Evie over here. Her upper body is just like, I've never seen it look like that before in my life. She's worked hard. She's got the most unusual bikini here. We'll talk about this later in terms of the bikini, because we're going to do a whole new sort of bikini style breakdown for you guys. And just like bikini for 2023, because you do a lot there too.
Yes, I do.
But this is definitely something we're going to bring up later. And this is the most unusual one I've seen in bikini for a while.
Very brave, yes.
So, yeah. We stick to the more kind of jewel tones. I do anyway.
Yes. I think, when it comes to bikinis, I know we'll talk about it later, but you always want to make sure that you're not distracting from your physique. So you want to wear a bikini that's beautiful, but you don't want to walk on stage and that's all anyone sees. You want to make sure they're looking at your physique and not just your bikini.
Right. Because at the end of the day, you guys, this is a bodybuilding show. Right.
Yes.
So it's all about the body.
Yes. You want to wear a bikini that's accentuating all your good features, not something that's distracting from your physique.
See, this is a nice look. I like this look. For me, with Maureen, I think I was such a close call for me between her and Jennifer Dory at the Olympia.
Yes.
So congratulations to both, because that was really tough. But again, just for the Arnolds on this look for Maureen, I actually prefer it, but it is just really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I love this blue suit on her. I think it definitely suits her really nice. I love the pink. I must say I did wear pink, as you saw, like that, like the one that Maureen wore at the Olympia. I wore that same color pink to the British finals the year before, and it is a beautiful color, but you've got to be really careful sometimes with your color choices and the background.
Yes,
because sometimes your bikini can just blend into that background.
I don't know if you know much about Romina over here. She's this Brazilian lady. I've had the pleasure of actually speaking to her once. She's really nice.
Really? Wow.
She's wonderful. Does her own sort of like waist belts and modeling. Just a really nice person.
Yes, I think she's always just been someone that's really positive in the industry and just a good influence.
Again, I think she's made huge improvements just from winning over the last couple of, like last 2 years, especially as I've been doing the show and I've been doing a lot more of just reviewing. She's just made huge improvements.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's really nice to see even pros doing that and making huge improvements and just looking a little bit different every time they come on stage. I think that's really cool.
Constantly evolving, even in bikini. I mean, if you look back at what bikini was a few years ago to what it is now, you know, it definitely has evolved quite substantially.
And then we've got Miss Alessia over here. I think she is the tallest lady on stage, and she's probably the most conditioned in the legs for me.
Yes, definitely.
I think she could come in a little bit fuller on the bottom, actually. Is she also Body Bio?
Or no, I think she was with Team Atlas, or she used to be. I'm not sure if she still is.
Well, this is really hard for me on the bottom.
Yes.
Too lean.
A little bit, Giles is saying a little bit too lean here. I do kind of agree with the legs. I think she could come a little bit fuller and she could really enjoy that stage time a little bit more. And then she'd be really, really gorgeous. But
she's
again,
dry. She's really dry.
She is quite dry.
You can see quite a lot of detail in her.
The calves, the glutes, the hamstrings, there's just no body fat there at all.
I think one of Alessia's sort of strong points, like she's one of these bikini athletes that I've never seen out of condition though.
Yes.
I've never actually seen her ever miss the mark.
Yes.
Maybe she can come in too conditioned, but she definitely brings it.
Yes.
So would you rather be too lean or too soft?
Well,
this is the question.
As a competitor who's had issues with being too lean in the past, it is that fine line. And I think that's why it's so important to not, to find a coach that works for you and not to switch coaches too often. It's a learning experience for both of you, to learn your physique and to understand how your body responds to certain foods and certain peak weeks, and making sure that each show you're improving together, rather than being like, okay, I was too conditioned, or I was too this, or I was too that, and then just rushing off and trying to find someone else and starting from scratch. Find someone who you trust, who you can work well with as a coach, who has the same values as you as an athlete, and stick with that person and grow together.
I agree. Stick with it. And we got lovely Miss Ashley Kaltwasser here, 3-time Miss Bikini Olympia champ.
Yes.
Always bringing her best. She ain't gonna stop. I like that. She's just gonna carry on going until she dies. Like literally, we're gonna see Ashley when she's on stage till she's about 70. So she's gonna be on there forever. She'd probably make a category where there was like an over 70s, so that she can carry on competing for the rest of her life.
That would be amazing.
I think it'd be fun. And then this lady, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I have forgotten your name. I do follow you. I think it starts with an I. I'm so sorry. If anyone in the comments butchers me, you totally welcome at this point. But this lady has been on the scene again for years, like in terms of years and years. She's one of the most consistent bikini athletes, and she's definitely made a name for herself that I cannot remember as a top bikini pro. So I don't know why I can't remember. I apologize so bad. Mexico.
Yes,
I know she's from Mexico. Can you remember?
I'm trying to remember as you're saying. I know that she's from Mexico, definitely.
I'm so sorry. But I think
I've also
you're
been following her for years, and then she always brings a consistency as well. She's always perfectly conditioned.
It's not you. It's me. My mind has gone blank on. I'm so sorry. I will bring back. And then we got Miss Jennifer Dory over here.
Oh, she's absolutely beautiful. Honestly, she's such a shining star in this industry for us, and just such a good example of just sportsmanship and being just that positive influence on young competitors coming into the industry.
I like her shape.
She's got a beautiful shape.
I'm really digging the Dory shape. It was so close for me between her and Maureen. So they were both on stage, and I was like, oh, it's Dory. No, it's Maureen. No, it's definitely Dory. And then I was a bit like, because I had Dory then in my top. But I agree, she's super positive and she's really nice.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She wears really big glasses, you know, like Have you seen these YouTube videos?
Yes, I have. Yes.
But beautiful shape. Stunning. Yep, that for me is a winning bikini shape. I'm sorry.
Yes,
okay?
I mean, she's just got that bubbly muscle, hasn't she?
Yes.
Just a beautiful, beautiful bubbly muscle.
Well, she might come back and win it this time. I never know.
Yes.
And then this new lady over here. Again, I'm so sorry I don't know your name, number 9. I will know it by the end of this. And I think, again, just beautiful. First Arnold's, I believe. I think it is Miss Maya. If not, I'm going to call you number 9. I'm at number 9. But again, just incredible muscle tone. Look at that shoulder cap.
Beautiful.
Can we just agree with it? This is the most popping shoulder cap I've ever seen. And then
the rear delts are very, very popping.
Ooh. And those long glute insertions. She could almost do wellness if she wanted to one day. Like if she really wanted to bring it up. Those are long glutes. Do you have long glutes or do you have more short glutes that boom?
I would say my glutes are probably in between both. I wouldn't say I have long or short glutes. I definitely have been told that I've got full glutes, and I have been told by girls that I've competed against that when they've seen me backstage in tanning, they thought I was with wellness division. So it's not. I have heard that a few times. The funny thing is though, when I do lean out for stage, I do find that I lose quite a bit of my legs. So that's something I definitely don't want to do this year. I want to see how I look with that balance, a bit more balance between the glutes and the hamstrings.
Interesting. And then we've got all the ladies coming on stage, and I don't know what your final sort of verdict on the placings were with this.
Yes.
How do you feel about Arnold's, or do you agree?
I definitely do. And, I've watched quite a few videos kind of summing up placings and reasonings, different people's perspectives on the placings at Arnold's. I definitely think they got the judging right on this 100%. I was definitely kind of placing within the same order when I was watching.
I thought it was absolutely stunning. Very happy. And I'm just so incredibly proud of the sport when I see stuff like this. So it is really amazing. So you guys, that is just a little bit of a recap and everything to do with Arnold's and Miss Mel Lewis. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for coming on to Buff Bombshell and for making it down. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's only a pleasure. It's been absolutely amazing and such a good experience coming to chat with you today. And yeah, I hope we can do this more often.
Definitely. I'd love that. So you guys, with that being said, if you want Mel back, please give this video a like. Put down all of your bikini comments down in the bar down below. Make sure you go pick up your copy of MD, okay, with Chris Bumstead on the front, 4-time Mr. Olympia champion. Mr. Chris Bumstead, if you see this, please like this. And congratulations on your engagement to Miss Courtney King, which is,
former Miss Olympia.
So you guys, we will see you again very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And ladies and gentlemen, we are out.